Hello, owners. I hope everybody is doing well. I am here. We have quite the gang here today. We have our owners from Ocala, Mr. and Mrs. Oliva, and then we've got Tony Bryan, our CMO. We have a wonderful opportunity here to do this interview, and so we're talking to Christy, and we're going to talk to her about her store and what she's been doing and how things have been going. And hopefully, the goal here is to try to maybe help some underperforming stores do a little better, maybe give some stores that are already doing well just some new ideas and some fresh ideas on how to even do better. And, I think our thoughts at corporate here is that if we can pull the bottom up, that the rising tide raises all ships, and so we're really excited about being able to do this. So thank you.
Absolutely. No, I'm really actually blessed to be here, to be able to share some of the things that we've learned along the way, this journey. Like he was saying, my name is Dr. Oliva. My husband is Michael. And we have Kayla Stein here, who's our regional manager. We have a store in Ocala and a store in Gainesville, and ever expanding. So a couple things that I think kind of stand out for me in terms of why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why has this become such a reward for us and not so much of a challenge for us? Because there's things that have kind of stood out. Number one, the most important thing to us is our staff, believe it or not. It is who are we translating this message that we'll discuss, later. Who are we translating this message to? Because if our staff is well trained, well taken care of, they feel valued, they feel a part of something, that automatically is going to be translated to the consumer, the person that walks in the door. However it is that our relationship looks with our staff is what their relationship with the customer is going to look like. So we try to transfer that message, and that's where we begin to teach the connection that is really necessary with our customers. This is a really special product, and we have a really unique ability to affect people's lives and help change the way they're living their life. It is such a gift. And to be able to talk to them about that and how it's affected our lives, how it's affected our staff's lives through customer experiences, that's probably the biggest thing. The most important thing to me is the staff and making sure they have what they need. Second, obviously, is going to be the consumer, making sure they're getting what they need. Our customers that come in every day, that become our friends.
Fantastic. And I wanted to just point out there, because the most important thing to you is the people that you bring on to work inside the store, your colleagues, and maybe we can call them employees. But what I'm seeing in the underproducing stores and the stores that are struggling are some of these stores don't even have employees at all.
Right.
And what you're saying is that's like the most important thing.
It is the most important
in
thing.
Your store.
Absolutely, because I can't be everywhere. If it's just me and it's just my store, that's the only range I'm going to affect. I'm not out in the community. I'm not talking to people. I'm not brainstorming ideas. I'm sitting in the store and I'm talking to customers. That's fantastic if I'm okay with just this much success. If I want to reach just this many people. When you bring on, you're going to get tenfold in your investment in staff by just simply hiring someone that's going to translate the message that we're trying to give our customers. So
do you feel like you can hire a staff member that can do just as good a job as you can talking to the customers?
Absolutely, 100%. In fact, the staff that I have is probably better at it than I am. And I'm very proud of that. And when I hear them talk, and I just kind of go, wow, I didn't even think about that. And and we teach each other every day, every single day. Kayla's a very good example. Kayla's our regional manager, but she's amazing. She'll come to me with this idea, and I'll be like, that's it. That's it. That's what we're going to do. And being very open to that feedback. Because I invest in their heart, and then what happens is they just naturally kind of just blossom, and they become these amazing people. Now we have a team. We don't have this rigid hierarchy of delivery. It's really just we're a team. We're trying to do this together. Who's got something to say, and how do we make it happen?
Fantastic.
And you have weekly meetings on that so that it translates not just to a retail experience, but a your CBD store experience.
Yes, I can't even tell you. I've never once thought that I own a retail store. It doesn't even cross my mind. I'm a medical provider, and I've had the opportunity to sell, or promote perhaps different things in the past. Never anything like this. Never anything as miraculous as this. So when they come in, first of all, I'm a terrible salesman. I can't sell anything. But we have such a superior product, it really sells itself. So how do we get in front of someone that needs us? And then how do we accurately describe our previous experiences? Because there's no data, I can't give you any science about this, but what I can tell you is about, Mrs. Smith over here who doesn't walk with her walker anymore, or Joe who didn't have to put tiny bubbles down, his dog, and that's a true story. Those are the kinds of stories I tell people, and that's how it translates.
So during your staff meetings, you talk about getting an emotional connection to the customer, and that's done through coaching and staff meetings with your team so that they get the experience, not just come in and buy something and they're being checked out.
You're exactly right. And I think what what everybody, particularly on maybe the executive team, is working on right now is what is our mission? What is our message? What are we doing? And really getting a solid, foundation in that. What's the message? And my takeaway has always been connection. But I'm also a medical provider who cares about her patients. So when people come in, I literally look at them and I want to help them. It is all about them the second they come in. Holding that space for them, allowing for them to just speak freely about what they're struggling with. And that has reaped its rewards many times over professionally for me. So it only makes sense in this environment. Why would the same thing not be true? So as, on a corporate level, as they begin to define exactly what our message is, it's going to have a lot to do with connection. It's going to have a lot to do with, are we talking to each other? Are we listening, which is a bigger part of it, to each other? And are we so we already have a superior quality oil. We already have it. It's already there. We have a huge gift. It's sitting right here. But what a lot of people do, so what's going to make people stop what they're doing and go, I'm not going to pick it up at this store. I'm going to drive all the way back over town and go to your CBD store. And what's going to make people turn around is us. Me. Kayla.
Can I add something?
Please.
Just to go off of this. I'm Kayla. I'm the regional manager. As Dr. O said, I just thought I might have an interesting perspective in terms of being a part of this team as an employee. Like the weekly staff meetings that we do, we structure it in a way that the structure of the meeting kind of looks the same. We start out with an icebreaker and a game. So if you want to talk about creating this team atmosphere and being able to portray this connection piece of it to our customers, you have to have a connected team. So whether that is a 2-person team or a 10-person team, how do you do that? And so we'll do they're really stupid, fun games at the beginning of the meeting, and it helps us to get to know each other better. So it makes it more comfortable for us
They're hilarious.
As coworkers and employees to be able to cultivate a more genuine, that connection with the customer isn't forced. It's a reflection of who we are as a team.
And additionally, every member of our team hosts a meeting. So it's not just me and they're doing meetings.
We take turns leading.
We all take turns, and someone plays point that week, and they've got certain things they suggest, and they bring the game. So we're all a part of the same thing. More recently, we've been doing these mock sale demonstrations. So this is what it looks like when a customer comes in when you really don't care. This is what it looks like when you want to provide good customer service. But this is what it looks like.
And then here's A+.
Yes.
Great.
But this is what it looks like when you want to connect emotionally with the people coming in the store. Because there's 3 different things completely.
So when you talk about connecting emotionally and that personal connection, what do you think is most important with that?
Trust, authenticity, self-awareness. I mean, these are all pretty abstract terms, but what I will say is I have a very good idea of why I do what I do personally. That's emotional work, blah, blah, all that stuff. But what I'll say is I stop and I reveal a little bit about myself. I reveal a little bit about my experience with taking the oil, or my experience, or another customer's. I have to get down and meet them where they're at and make myself just another person that's struggling, that got relief. That's what creates the connection. Just allowing yourself to be a little vulnerable with them, and it gives them permission in turn to kind of respond the same way. They're going to be far more open to share things with you, and then boom, we've made a connection beyond just, oh, this is a great oil for you, and okay, I'll go try it.
Well, one of the things, too, that when I'm training a new employee that I see, they get really excited because we throw all this awesome information at them through these webinars that you guys have created, where and I remember thinking the same thing, this is so cool, I love the science behind it. So I get so wrapped up in that you forget the fact that I'm just talking to a random person that came off the street. So encouraging our employees to pause and actually listen to what these people are saying when they walk in, remembering that when these people come into our stores, they're not going clothes shopping, they're coming in because they're hurting. And so taking the time to actually listen and not jump right into, let me tell you everything I just learned in this training. I think I did that in the beginning, and I learned very quickly, people don't want to always hear that. They want to be welcomed and feel comfortable, and how do you
coupling that
how do you
emotional
allow them to
connection
do that?
with the environment that's created, right? Because they have this beautiful, welcoming, homey type atmosphere they're walking into. So you've got this really approachable, authentic person who's sitting there talking about real life stuff, who owns the store, and they get to sit down on this nice couch, and we get to have a conversation like we're friends and like we're peers, and like we're really going to help each other.
And
so
it's fun.
It is. It's far more fulfilling,
part, yeah.
certainly for myself.
So basically, what I'm hearing you describe is, you're bringing them in and you're kind of using the pitch to let them know, educate them a little bit about it, but then more importantly, what you're trying to do is get them to talk to you about whatever brought them in and whatever issue that they're having, and then what you're trying to do is figure out a way that you can relate to that.
The relatability is going to create the connection,
problem.
but you got to get them in the store. So this is another thing.
Sure.
So you got to get them there in order, because I would say we have about a 90% turnover rate in terms of sales. We can sell it. If they come in the store, the oil sells itself.
I say like 98%.
They will buy almost all the time. Yeah. If they come in, they know they're wanting something, and you barely have to sell it. It's so good. I mean, honestly. So there's a lot of factors that increase profits that I think our stores have done very well. And the first thing is obviously going to be word of mouth is the biggest referral we've ever had. A customer who feels valued will pay for itself a million times over in terms of marketing. You almost don't even need to market if you have this solid consumer base that's extremely loyal to you. That'll do its own work. But starting out, we're involved in a lot of community events. We go to like the farmers markets on the weekends. They have this weekend we're doing an event for they're raising money for pets, and I'm not sure exactly what, but we're raising money for this organization for animals. So we'll be there promoting our product, but also providing free samples for people. And if we don't sell one product, we've just networked with that entire place. We do couple in the community. We love animals, so the Humane Society has been something that we've coupled with. We actually donated 10% of our pet sales to them in the month of April. That was huge. We'd have a lot of response from the community back. And then kids. So we're going to be aligning ourselves with Kimberly's Cottage, which is coming soon. That's for children who suffered abuse and neglect. So, and we offer them percentages based on that. And then I speak publicly and talk about the product. So people will have me come in and I'll talk to different networks. We are very involved with Chamber of Commerce. That's a really big thing. And if you say you're a member of Chamber of Commerce, once you join, that is a really big, that's a credibility factor.
It opens the doors for a lot of different events that you wouldn't be able to get into.
Because they know you're legit. They know you're reputable. They know you're... So, and then once we get them in those events, different things that we do, and then we're doing something at the mall over this. We have 3 events outside of the store on Saturday, plus with our store being open. So, and we have 7 staff members, I think, total, including Mike and myself as owners.
So, obviously, you can't, as the owner, run all those events. And then I think what, we want to make sure that we kind of cover is that you're a medical doctor. And so that, if I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, of course, she's a doctor.
I'm not a physician, I'm a medical provider, so I'm a nurse practitioner who has a clinical doctorate. So I'm not a medical doctor, not an MD, I'm a DNP. But
you got initials.
I do all the same things.
Right. you got initials.
I'm the same, yes, I do all the same things a medical doctor does.
And so, but you,
yes.
Obviously, if you're running, that's not... I'm a medical provider, and so I'm the only one that can go and run the shows, and I'm the only one that can go out and speak. You have your employees. I'm sure your husband goes out, Kayla goes out, and everybody's going out. You're not a doctor.
No, and it's funny. I get that question a lot because I am really well versed based on just the
she sounds amazing. I'm like, you want her, not me.
And I'm like, no, I'm not a doctor, but we don't. Every now and then, it's nice to be able to pull that card. Like, yes, we have a doctor who's an owner, but we really don't have to. Like, as a team, we've done a really good job of keeping our employees up to date on the latest stuff that you guys put out, and that seems to be, along with the team building stuff we do, it doesn't have to be Dr. O that's going out. I can send,
thank God.
I can send 3 other people that I've got out and say, I'm confident that you are well trained and knowledgeable enough to go do this. You don't have to be a doctor.
And
to
I
do
can't
it.
stand behind it in terms of science because I do tell stories about my patients that I've treated for. One of my favorite stories to tell is I've taken care of this woman for 10 years and she's got chronic pain, and I could tell you every single major condition, starting with fibromyalgia, ending with osteoarthritis. And the only option I've ever had is narcotics for her. That's it. That's all I have.
Right. I
don't have anything different. I can't keep people on steroids for long periods of time. And when she started the oil, she came back 2 weeks later. Again, I've known her 10 years. She takes her walker, she sets it to the side, she dances around our table in the middle of our store, and I cried. And that's when I had the moment of, I had goosebumps everywhere, and I went, this is absolutely legit. Because I can tell you, I've tried everything I know in medical science to help her for 10 years.
Wow.
And I've never seen her walk without the walker. So when I have I was just sold. I was just like, okay, I'm done being skeptical.
Right.
I'm done having my doubts. Like, this woman, I know for a fact nothing's going to be able to help her. This is the only variable that changed, and this is the outcome I'm seeing. That same day, a guy came in, and he had his dog with him named Tiny Bubbles. And when he came in with Tiny Bubbles, he said, thank you. We didn't have to put him down.
That's amazing.
I mean, what is that? I mean, he
Right.
had the appointment to put his dog down. It was a Hail Mary. And the dog walks in the store with him. Hasn't been walking a long time. I mean, you can't deny that kind of stuff. That's what people want to hear.
Do you have your staff members watch the webinars
Every
frequently?
single one.
They just do. They usually tell me, got a webinar up. We all watch, so yeah. And then
We give our entire staff access to the internet. We have Google Drive set up, so every webinar that Tony has ever done is on there. And
It's part of their
before
training,
they're
too.
allowed to sell anything, they have to watch every single one you guys have ever created.
You know what's funny is that when we start people here, that's how we start them. They spend the whole entire day
Yep.
with the headphones
And it is.
on,
It's a whole day,
sitting
but-
in a corner and watching videos.
Yeah.
And
That's the whole thing. They gotta feel confident about the product before you can get out there. You can't sell something you're not confident about, and they're so intrigued almost every time. Dr. Tony has a way of delivering a message that probably be very boring to a lot of people, but it's not when he
No,
does
it's
it.
not.
It doesn't even look like that. So,
Fantastic speaker.
so I would say when customers leave too, there's this whole piece that kind of gets missed. We always add personal touches to every little thing we do. We do offer free shipping for our customers, and we have a very solid customer base that we ship to every month or every 90 days. But we send something in there, be it we'll put a little note, a handwritten note, like thanking them. We'll follow up a week later saying, did you get your product? Want to confirm you got it? Do you like it? Tell me what's working. Tell me what's not. They appreciate that so much.
Sure.
So much, and making sure that follow through is there when they're coming in, offering them, would you like to purchase? I see you come in every month. Would you like to purchase a 90-day supply while you're here today? And then we make notes of that stuff, and we call when their 90-day supplies come. We kind of track
We
that
track
stuff.
everything we've shipped.
So
like,
when the customer comes in and buys, you take their information.
We do every time.
Somehow.
Usually through 5-star is how
Right.
we do it. But it saves it also. We use Square. That's our POS. So when you does that, you put in their number to text the receipt, and we have their number, and then we have their name, so we have it actually 2 places.
Well, no, with
Gotcha.
shipping, we do it like old school. We write everything down. It's what they received when they received it. So if we see that Joe ordered 2 months ago and hasn't ordered since, I'll call him and say, hey, how did you like that product? Oh my gosh, you know what? I did
Yeah.
run out. I am going to order another
We saw
one.
people
And I
at
already
events.
know what I already
Last
know what he's
week,
going
we
to buy.
were networking, and we saw these people at events, and I gave samples out to other vendors for their family. And we called those vendors and said, how is your husband? Did he sleep last night? I know he hasn't slept in weeks. What happened with that? Did you try 2? Okay, maybe we'll try this. So we're bringing other businesses in, and we're really trying to integrate within our community, become the resource for CBD. Everybody's got questions. No one knows who to ask. That's the thing. And consumers shouldn't trust just the average Joe on the street. Unfortunately, it's not regulated. So people can tell you whatever they want. But in terms of being a really valid resource for our community, that's how it starts. It starts with just getting out there, talking to people, communicating, creating connections, and then that trust is there. So they send, you want to know about
Loyalty,
CBD? Go
that's
to the
great.
store.
Yeah.
We're the only dedicated CBD store. The only one. That's a huge thing.
So you talked about calling your customers after they make their initial purchase, their
Mm-hmm.
first purchase. Is that a practice you guys do with every new customer?
I would like to say yes. I'm sure there's people that fall,
Right.
between the cracks, but
Of course.
but following up is that touch.
Right.
And then when we take leads off of them too, we have to understand. So they say things, well, my cousin and this and that, and I'll say, you can have your cousin call me. I'll explain this to them just like I explained it to you, and we ship for free. And then all of a sudden we got their cousin calling. The next day we do that a lot.
How much shipping do you guys say you do?
A lot.
We just had to recreate our shipping
We just
process
restructured
because
the whole
we ship
thing.
so much. But
So there's so much shipping volume that you had to actually make
we
a
have a whole
process
system.
for it.
We have a
System.
process in place. We ship 2 days
Fantastic.
a week, yeah, and but that's how we track it too. In terms of our follow up.
Because we've been getting a lot of, I don't want to say complaints, but people concerned because they don't feel like they're getting, the amount of online sales. And I just had a conversation with one of our longtime owners that we literally, our volume for online retail sales is so low that we do maybe about $30,000 a month, which may seem, that's how much my store does.
But considering,
but when you think about that, split up over 250 locations,
and you have stores. I mean, you have
30,
stores, and I
30
think we
states.
often lose sight of that. Like our CEO, you're like a wizard. I mean, these people up here at the top, they have their own stores. I mean, that's how they started. They're just like one of us. I mean, you kind of see it in your stores too.
Sure.
In terms of how that's
we ship, and my wife has shipped from day one, and I just think it's a different deal. And I also think that once customers get into, I'm going to go buy online,
we ship for free. That's the first thing I say.
It changes everything, because now when you go online to buy, now you're shopping for CBD. You're not, making a relational transaction that you made the last time you were inside the store. And so now you start to get errands, and you start to look around over here, and I wonder what this one has, and and then the next thing you know, we forgot to place the order, or we placed it with a competitor, or whatever happened, and those sales just don't really exist.
An important thing that people need to understand: everything we do is to drive traffic to the store.
I see that.
To get that personal, your CBD store experience.
The only thing that's going to separate us from other leading companies that provide superior quality oils is going to be the connection. That's it. And that is the reason that startup companies, businesses fail all the time. Almost 75% of the time, these companies do not make it the first 5 years, and they don't because they fail to establish the emotional connection with their client base. And that's what that's what makes us so neat. No one else in this business creates that experience that we do. You're going to come into our store, we're going to treat you this way, and then we're going to follow through with and how much we care. And here's the thing, that sounds maybe like a marketing gimmick, but for me, it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. Because
very gratifying.
It really is, because I watch them change, and I watch them become so grateful. And I get to see that stuff, so I really feel like I worked for Pfizer for 10 years. I mean, I honestly do. And now I feel like I work for just a beautiful company that provides relief. So when I wake up, I don't mind going to work. I get to go help someone.
Do you say that you get to know your customers so well,
Yes.
on a first name basis?
Oh yeah,
All of them.
I love them.
We know almost all of them.
Family stories. We know,
We do. We really do.
So they really get the red carpet experience
All the
when
time.
they visit
Every
the
time.
store.
We walk every single customer
To the
out.
door.
We
We walk
carry
them to
their
the door.
bag. We'll take them to their car if they're old. We do,
We do it all. Yeah.
Yes.
And that translates no matter where we are too. So you got to deliver the same experience, even if you're sitting in front of a potential wholesale opportunity. You have to represent the experience. This is what we're doing. Or you're talking to someone at a market and they're going to come to the store. We always maintain this level of authenticity and connection, because when they come to the store, it's just an extension of what we already brought.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Do you feel like that experience is as good as any marketing you've ever done? They tell friends, you go down and see them, they're great, they treat us well. Do you think that translates into more and more sales?
It is 100% the biggest part of our business. And we are very, very active on social media, all platforms. We're very active. We do videos, we do radio. We're just doing billboards right now. We do the newspaper, all that. But I still hear more often than not, Betty Jo sent me in the hospital. I work with her. She was telling me. Or they'll come in and just say, they told me that you could explain this to me. That's when I feel like, okay, we're getting some credibility here. Oh yeah, let me tell you what the endocannabinoid system is. Let me tell you the science behind why this works. This isn't just some, fluky witch oil. There's really good science behind this, and I'm going to show you why it works. And then they go, okay, I get it. Well, they're already here. Can we try yours? Absolutely, you can. And people will come in and say, do you know what this product is? And we read labels for them. We try to help them sort through some of that stuff. And if they have a good product and it's helping them, we literally say to them, you got one, you got a good one. Stick with it. We're here if you need us. That's part of just acting with integrity, in the industry. But I mean, we're not the only person providing amazing oil.
Absolutely
we're just
not
exceeding industry standards.
Right,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to become more and more prevalent over the next couple of years. As
you want to be here in
more
5
companies
years.
are going to come out, and the oil is going to get better, and it's going to get cleaner, and it's going to get more transparent. And so, we have to, as a company, implement these other avenues for customer retention.
And they want it, and they really want it. And it's the reason why other parts of my life have not been so fulfilling. I've been unable to establish the true connection with someone else. And that can sound kind of scary and, all kinds of psychobabble stuff. But at the end of the day, that's where I have the biggest smile, and that's when I sleep the best, and I know that I've really affected the greatest change on someone else in the positive. And we have this beautiful product that does it. It speaks for itself. All we have to do is be that vector, in support of an amazing product. It sells itself. You don't have to do much more than that. So just talk to them about them, taper the dosing to them, make them feel special. And what we've created is this a whole entirely different thing.
Fantastic,
No.
fantastic. Just one more thing, and this has been great, by the way. We want to thank you so much, Kayla. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. Just messing with you. We'll cut that part out. But I did want to just ask one final question. Where do you see your involvement with your CBD store in the future? Would you have a 6-month goal? Do you have a 12-month goal? What's your kind of long-term outlook at this, and kind of where do you see this thing taking you?
So is this in terms of myself with the company, or is this in terms of like where I see our stores going?
Yeah, both.
Okay, so I mean, I am a public speaker. I mean, I've always done it, and only about things I'm passionate about. I can't just sit up there and talk about things that are just irrelevant in my mind, right? Like, you could get Dr. Tony to talk about science. I'm not here to talk about science. I'm here to talk about why this product works so well and my experience with it, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to be speaking at the CBD Expo in Miami. I'm going to be joining the team to do that. I'm excited to be able to translate a different part of the message. We have Dr. Tony over here kind of just saying, we have the superior quality CBD oil. Well, I want to help you be relevant in 5 years. I want to help you still be standing. I want to help you love what you do. And then what happens is your friends want to open stores, and we're all opening stores together, and we're all helping people. Like, it goes on and on and on in terms of the change that's going to happen throughout all of your circles. It kind of ripples through your life in terms of the benefits of connection. So that's really what I'd like to do from a professional standpoint. It certainly translates to my staff, and it goes to all of our locations. That just happens. That's why the investment needs to be there. I don't really worry about customers coming in the door. If the investment is in the staff, they're coming in. It's just not something I wake up with in the middle of the night and go, what am I going to do tomorrow in sales? Sales just happen when the investment comes there. I don't worry about that. And I really just want, at the end of every day, I want every single person that works for us, certainly, to leave there excited to come back the next day, feel comfortable to come to us, myself and Mike and Kayla, when they need a resource. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you kind of navigate through some of the stuff in your life as well. We are invested in you. And when people leave our store, when they don't want to, no longer work for us, I don't support lateral moves. I don't want somebody going to work for another CBD store or company. I want them opening their own stores. I want them opening their own stores. I want them graduating with their masters. I want them, this should be a stepping stone that kind of prepares like new leaders and new people. So that's really kind of our goal, and I think that's why we're so successful. So that's kind of, I see myself continuing to do that, and that's what I've always done.
Awesome. Well, thanks. You got anything else, Tony? No.
Nope. Look forward to seeing you guys continue to grow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have more stores coming soon. I know you've already hit me with a few that you're ready to and that's exciting because
we want some answers on that.
Growth is very important, and
we have the foundation to grow too. That's the thing. You don't want to grow without that foundation. Otherwise, it's just the blind leading the blind, and you just got to know. We have a great foundation. The whole company does. Growth should be effortless once you master these few simple things. Stores will just start popping up and doing well. Really, that's the way it works.
And you guys give us the foundation. Everything that you provide for a new owner. It's right there for you to succeed.
Yep.
At that point.
And even this new element you're adding,
right?
In terms of branding.
At that point, then it's just the emotional connection when you get the customers in,
right?
And then it just kind of snowballs from there.
Got to provide a good product, number one, or why are we here? We won't be legitimate. We're respected in the industry. Then we connect, and then everybody just sits back and becomes a little more fulfilled and enjoys life.